Okay, so here we're going to go over an example of a call option from two different perspectives. So suppose the price of a share of IBM stock is $200. So that's going to be considered the current stock price. S sub T is how I'm going to denote that. An April call option, note call is the right to buy, on IBM has a premium of $5 and an exercise price of $200. So I'm going to diagram my option. So over here, I have my profit on my vertical axis and my stock price on my horizontal axis. So this option is currently at the money because the stock price, S sub T, is equal to the strike price. So note that I am denoting my strike price as X and my premium as 5. So when the stock price is less than $200, my option is considered out of the money. It's at the money at $200. Anytime my stock price goes above $200, I start to move into the money, but I don't actually make a profit, go above zero on my profit line over here on the y-axis until the stock price exceeds $105. Now, why is that? Because call is the right to buy, so that would mean I would have the right to buy the stock at $200 and then turn around and sell it for whatever its price is. But remember, I paid a premium of $5 for that right to buy. Remember, with an option, from the buyer's perspective, it's a right, not necessarily an obligation to exercise that option. So if the stock price stayed less than $200, I would just be out my $5. I wouldn't rationally buy it at $200 and then turn around and sell it for less. That wouldn't make any sense. Now, let's move over here to the writer's side. From the writer's side, however, it is an obligation. So it's much more risky to be the writer or seller of an option than it is to be the buyer or take the long position. So what we see here from the writer's perspective, now remember, the writer has to exercise or has to execute the option anytime the buyer decides to exercise it. So from the buyer's perspective, profit is still on their vertical axis. They start out making $5. Anytime the stock price stays below $200, below that strike price, they continue to make that profit of $5. Their profit declines as the stock price increases, and their profit starts to go negative once the stock price exceeds $205. Note here that the potential loss for the writer of the call, the seller of the call, is unlimited, but the potential gain for the writer is limited to that premium of $5 versus the buyer is in a much less risky position. Their maximum possible loss is $5 and their maximum possible gain is unlimited. So when will the buyer of the option make a profit? They are at the money at $200. They're in the money anytime the stock price is greater than $200, and they start to make a profit anytime the stock price goes above $205. For the writer of the option, though, they only make a profit when the stock price is less than $205. The max profit that they can make is $5, and the max that they can lose is infinite.